Here we are. Hi. Hi. Welcome. It is 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the lovely state of Georgia. And if you've never seen me before, my name is Tenille, and I help women who've been diagnosed with lupus go from confused and discouraged to healed, hopeful, and in control of the medical narrative. And when I say I help women, I just have been saying that forever because I was unaware of the vast universe that is men with lupus. And I found out the secret that there are some, even though doctors have told me for my whole existence in the lupus realm that didn't happen. So to further take away some of that stigma, our guest today is going to explain how that really is not the truth. And you know how he knows? Because he's a man with lupus. I wanted to honorable mention of things before I get into it, because I know that this is going to be an insanely hard-hitting episode. Hold on. Let me see. Am I live everywhere, guys? Please let me know if you see me. If you see me everywhere, please let me know, because we've been having some issues here. Okay. All right. I think I'm everywhere. Please make a comment, like, share, do all the things, but make a comment so that I know that you're seeing me from all of the platforms. I should be on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram today. So let me know. Holler if you hear me, as they say. Honorable mention thing. So I opened my mailbox yesterday, all unassuming and normal, like I do. And I get the cutest gift from a former guest and friend, icon. This sign, it's a neon sign, and it says lupus. I guess it's gonna have to go on the wall somewhere, but it needs to be somewhere where y'all can see it, because the wall is high and there's a lot of things there, but you guys only see this little sliver. But it's a neon sign. How cute is that? How sweet is that? Hold on, let me turn it on. Look at it. I don't know if you can see how neon it is in the thing, but that's so cool. I love it. Thank you. I'm so glad you see me. Thank you for being here. Wow, that's so cool. I love this. Who knew I would be getting gifts? This is amazing. Thank you, everybody who ever supported me in any way. Likes, shares, comments. But gifts are next level, and I appreciate it so much. So anyhow, let's get into it, okay? I'm glad to see you're here. Thank you for your comments. I just need to let y'all know this is going to be a hard hitter. I met this man at my first lupus event in Georgia almost 2 years ago now, and I was immediately comforted. I wasn't sure that he worked with the company or anything like that, but I was just like, oh, it's a dude and he's here and he seems like everybody knows him and likes him, and it's yeah, I didn't feel what are you doing here in this lupus space of women? He fit in and felt comforting. And the more lupus events I would go to, the more that I would see him. And I was like, oh, okay, so he's really in it. Then I get to hear him speak, and I'm like, oh, he's one of us. He's got the lupus. And then I got to speak to him further, and I'm like, wow, he's really in it. He's been in it. He's gone through so much. And recently became Facebook friends, in fact, spoken more often. And I'm finding out he was in the hospital recently, really going through the flare-ups, and still working at his job, and still a wealth of knowledge, answer any question that you have about all kinds of stuff. I'm very new into the activism portion of lupus. I've just been fighting and suffering and whatever, but now I'm in the fight with the people making the changes, and he has been doing it since before I even knew what that was or any of the impact that it had. So I'm so honored and so excited to have this man on. Please welcome to the stage, Chris Reed.
Tenille, good to meet you. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's awesome to see you.
Definitely.
I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on this podcast.
Of course.
So my first question, which is my first question to everyone, could you please tell my audience who you are, where you are from, and what you do?
So, Tenille, I am from Conyers, Georgia, here in the metro Atlanta area. I have lived with lupus for 16 years. Probably lived with it for 35 years. I was diagnosed at the age of 8 in 1990. Yes, shocking, shocking, shocking.
Baby.
And it probably took doctors a long time to diagnose me because I was a man, because I'm a man. Um, Men tend to develop lupus uh, early in life, but we also tend to develop a more severe form of lupus. So oftentimes we'll get serositis, so inflammation of the heart, lungs, um, and excuse me, pericarditis is the other condition. Pleurisy, so inflammation of the lungs. We'll get kidney disease as well, arthritis, central nervous system involvement. So I had all of it. I had
Mm.
pericarditis, pleural effusion, pleurisy, serositis, just overall my entire body. In addition to GI problems as well as arthritis. So it really, really hit me bad back in 1990. And it was an infectious disease doctor who actually figured out that I had lupus.
Mm.
Uh, this was at Emory Midtown. Over the course of a number of years, my lupus continued to flare, went in several points of remission, but it was quite difficult for me to really, really recover from the condition because of the severity of it, as well as because of um, just the difficulty of being in school, as well as living
Yeah.
with the condition itself. So it was quite tough for me for quite a long time. I was
So what did
very
they think you had? Like what was like the first signs? Like what did they think like was wrong with you?
my first signs were headaches, or migraine headaches. I developed
Mm.
with those at the age of 8. And then by the age of 15, I started developing the heart involvement. So the serositis and pleurisy and pericarditis. After that, it was arthritis. I had a seizure. I had high blood pressure. I had nephritis as well. So, and all of that was in ICU in the hospital at Emory Midtown.
Wow.
Um, it was devastating. It was really devastating to me and to my family to deal with it. I was very blessed, though, to have a mother who's a hospital social worker,
Oh
and she
wow.
immediately said, "We're going to the Lupus Foundation of America, Georgia chapter. We're going to figure this out, and we are going to make a difference for me." And
So
and
you've
the
been there the whole time.
I
Oh
have,
wow. That's
I
so
have.
cool. Wow. So since you were diagnosed and that is the biggest blessing because a lot of people are, you know, with families that don't have any idea what lupus is or how to function around medical care. And if you don't learn quick, you'll be left out a lot of stuff, be talked out of things, talked into things that you really don't want. So that is wild. Wow, you are charmed, living a charmed life. That's amazing. I love it. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it was a tremendous blessing, and got to meet several patients who were dealing with similar issues. I was able to go through class in which they taught me how to get through high school and college, and I'm blessed. I've been blessed ever since.
Oh, I love that. Yes, you really, really are. I see like all the people who commented when I posted that you were going to be on my podcast, and everyone was like, "Oh, Chris, ah." So how did you get from being a patient, like you were in law? So how did you get to being a lupus patient to now being working with the foundation?
So, about 25 years ago, um, I began studying law. I went to Tulane Law School in New Orleans, Louisiana. Decided to practice law after that, working for the private sector and the public sector, working for a judge and working for various law firms throughout the metro Atlanta area. And it came to me that or I decided that really lupus is my purpose. Lupus is my
Mm,
purpose in life. That, fighting lupus is my purpose. And the
right.
reason why I say that is because I was very involved in activism prior to being diagnosed with lupus as a high school student. And I really had forgotten, the tenets of my philosophy and the tenets of the work that I do, which is activism, advocacy, and policy work. And eventually, I did remember, hey, this is who I am. This is my core, and that lupus is a part of that core. Subsequent to that, I began working for the Georgia chapter in a auxiliary capacity. So I worked for the Georgia Council on Lupus Education and Awareness, which is a state-funded, state-run advisory council for Georgia. The entity uses state tax dollars for research and development of lupus projects across the state. And so I began that work. I was appointed by Governor Nathan Deal to that position, and I chaired that council for 5 years with the assistance of the Lupus Foundation of America Georgia chapter. I worked with everyone from Dr. Sam Lim, who's one of the country's leading rheumatologists here in Georgia. I worked with State Representative Kim Schofield, Senator Gail Davenport now, Senator Tanya Anderson, and Senator Renee Unterman. This was a bipartisan organization, bipartisan entity, and we worked to really develop programs to assist and improve the lives of people living with lupus across the state of Georgia.
This man is big time. Do you see this? Like, that's crazy. Like like just casual name dropping every famous government person. Like, yeah, Kim Schofield, homie, bestie, whatever. Like, that's crazy. Like, you don't know what you're saying because it's normal to you, but to us, we're like, what? That's crazy. So you really went through all the law, learning law, so you could advocate properly, because we out here learning from you. Because I genuinely have no idea. Like, when I went to the Capitol with you guys, I was so grateful. You had like a template, like, fill this out, tell them this about this, like what you need from this specific thing. Because I had no idea. I just was like, here I am, like, do the things, like, Thank you so much for all that you know and how you help us and teach us like what to do next. Because genuinely, I had zero idea.
Of course.
So now that you are working with the Lupus Foundation, what are your like duties? Like, what do you do exactly? Like, I see you at every event, but what is the behind the scenes that you're doing?
So I'm in charge of programming for the organization. So I'm the community impact manager. So in charge of education programming for the organization. So everything from our Georgia Lupus Empowerment Summit, which takes place in the month of October, it's a education event, statewide education event that provides people living with lupus with the necessary tools to really improve their lives. So everything from talking to some of our volunteers, to discussing lupus nephritis with physicians, to discussing lupus 101, fibromyalgia, health, dietitians, and so forth. Yeah. In addition to that, I assist with our annual gala, which is a casino night this year, which takes place in August. So I'm super, super excited about our casino night, because this is an opportunity to raise funds for an organization that, really relies on volunteers for assistance. I also am working on in-district meetings. So we are hopefully meeting with members of the U.S. Congress and members of the U.S. Senate to discuss lupus and how some of the government's funding is actually harming people living with lupus. So some of the budget cuts are harming people with lupus. Yeah. So I do that as well. In addition, I am in charge of support groups. So I lead the lupus nephritis support group and the men's support group for the organization. I run Advocacy Day. So I'm the co-chair of our Advocacy Day at the Georgia State Capitol, which we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Advocacy Day is a great opportunity for you and for I to meet directly with members of the state legislature to discuss how lupus has impacted our lives. So it's a great opportunity for us to really tell them one-on-one, what does it mean to have lupus? How does lupus impact our lives? And what can they do to improve the lives of people impacted by lupus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was shocked meeting the people. I was like, first of all, just sitting during like, is it a hearing? Like we were all sitting like a purple wall, like sitting all together, and they're voting on things, and we got to witness that. And I was so like, I've never been in anything even remotely close to that. And I was like, whoa, this is like, we're literally a part of history, and like meeting the people who run things. Usually, they just were votes on paper, and it was crazy to like get to speak to people and be like, yes, I do have lupus. I do look pretty normal, but like, this is what we're going through and we need your help. And I feel like it really connected with them more, that we were there shaking hands, looking at them in the eye. Like that, like, thank you so much for being a part of organizing that. Cause for some reason it didn't sound as important as it turned out being, like feeling the energy there. Like, it's like going to a movie. If someone tells you about the movie, you'll be like, oh, okay, that sounds cool, whatever. But going to the movie and seeing it happen and that kind of thing, it really impacted me. And I'm sure it impacts those people who are at their job to see we flooded the Capitol like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. So some of the other things that I do, I lead emergency financial assistance. So if someone is living with lupus and they cannot pay for medication, doctor's appointments, transportation to doctors, because they must decide between paying for those bills or taking their medication, then I assist with that. So we provide $500 per year to someone living with lupus to assist with any emergency situations that they may have. So that may be everything from paying a car note to paying for someone's rental assistance to paying for utility bills, like I said, or even medication or transportation.
Wow. I didn't know that existed. That's so awesome.
It's so very helpful to everyone living with lupus, and that's part of where our funding goes, is to provide that assistance to patients. I'm also the patient navigator, which means that I work directly at the Grady Lupus Clinic and the Emory Nephritis Clinic to assist patients who are facing more challenges. So, for example, if they need appointment reminders, or if patients need to be reminded to go to their doctor's appointments, patients need housing assistance, then I help with that as well through our patient navigator program. It's an opportunity for me to give back, but it's an opportunity for me also to work one-on-one with individuals living with lupus who may be impacted in various ways. I love working for both clinics. I work with Dr. Jason Cobb as well as Dr. Sam Lim at the Grady Clinic to assist these patients and make sure that they are adhering to their medication and making sure that they are living their best lives.
Yeah.
Last thing
you said, I said, what do you do? The way you just pulled out a scroll and said 47 things that you do is blowing my mind, because I was thinking it was gonna be like a statement. I do this thing. You do so many things, and you have one label. They need to give you a crown or a staff. I don't know, something. Like you're the king of the things. Like, what the heck? That's a lot of stuff. And there's more. Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah. I also provide speeches at programming. So I speak at fundraisers. In fact, on Thursday, I'll be speaking at a lunch and learn for a major donor for the Lupus Foundation of America Georgia chapter. This is an opportunity to teach corporations, teach entities about the Americans with Disabilities Act and how it impacts people with lupus and how people with lupus should be treated in the workplace. And then finally, I work directly with assisting people who are going through some legal problems as well. Sometimes I do assist with that as well.
That, I mean, being a lawyer and stuff, that probably helps.
Mhm.
Being able to do that part. Yeah. That is wild. So, like, how did you sign up to do these things? And how do you do it with being sick sometimes? Like, you just came out of the hospital recently. So, like, what does that look like when you are sick or you feel like you're coming down, with a flare up? Do you like explain to them, like, oh, this feels like it's happening? So, how do they, since you do all of those things, like, who's taking over?
So I do have an intern who does assist me. I have actually several interns this fall. In addition to that, I work very, very hard to make sure that we have the coverage that we need at the organization to assist when I'm out of the office. Yes, I'm often, unfortunately, often sick. But we have the support system. We have a CEO. We have our events planner, events manager, Consuelo Farley. We have Lloydith as well, who all assist in the work that I do to make sure that the patients that we work with are being taken care of. Make sure that that I'm not an impediment to the work that needs to be done, and to make sure that everyone living with lupus can live their best life.
Yeah, message people. You heard the man. He said, have systems in place, have people to rely on, who can help you, who can push you forward when you feel like you're falling back, and having all of those people that, like, you need a community. There's not
Mm-hmm.
there's not one way that you're going to do it. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to
Yep.
go far, go with a group. And that
Yep.
is what you need. Like, he's done all these things. He has all these credentials. He knows all these people by name. Hello, come through memory. You got that good memory. You got everybody's name. And he still has a support system that helps to keep the wheel turning when he's out of commission, and he gets to relax and heal and focus on his health, and when he needs to focus on his health. So when I'm talking about all the time, doing all these things and going all these places, and that, I'm also very, very cognizant of the fact that if you need to rest, you rest. If you need
Mm-hmm.
to take a break, take a break. And it's okay. Like, just because you feel like you're falling behind, feelings are not facts. And the facts are, if you get yourself a good support system, like he mentioned, you will continue to go far, even if you have to take a break, even
Mm-hmm.
if your body needs to recuperate and build itself back up. Have a group that's behind you that's going to help you be consistent like that. Okay. So, I really want to talk about, just in general, being a man with lupus. You got diagnosed young, but still, you think that you had it before then.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what is that like? Like, in the workplace, or everywhere. Like, the man is supposed to be the man, and, like, you do all the things. And when you can't do all the things, how does that work for you? How do you get past that?
It's very, very difficult. So as a man living with lupus, oftentimes we have to take a larger role in the organizations that we work for. Oftentimes we are the ones who have to take out the trash, or have to um, um, have to lead the organization. Sometimes we are the ones who really have to work towards the betterment of the organization. And so it can be very, very difficult trying to do so when you're dealing with a chronic illness.
Mm-hmm.
It was not uncommon for me, particularly when I worked at law firms, to keep quiet, to not say a
Mm-hmm.
single thing, because I didn't want to be labeled as someone who's problematic. I remember I worked at one law firm and they specifically said, we don't want anyone who has issues. And this is after they terminated me. They didn't
What?
want anyone who had issues whatsoever.
So wait. They didn't know you had lupus before you started working there.
Mm-hmm.
And then something happened, like you had a flare up there, and isn't that illegal? I don't know. You're a law guy.
I was on 6 months medical leave, and that was their response. Is that they didn't want anyone who had issues. And that's not the only entity that I worked for that I had that problem. There was a lobbying group that I worked for prior to the Lupus Foundation that also they tried to demote me because of my condition. They said, Chris, we understand that you have this chronic illness, but we need to have you consider whether or not you want to take a back seat at the organization, which is very, very illegal. Very, very illegal.
Rage. I'm feeling rage. That is so, oh my gosh. I don't know what people think they're doing. What, like, in my heart wants to say that they, don't want anything to happen to us. So they want us to, relax and heal. And like, that's why. But my mind says they're really trying to ruin us. That same thing happened to me in college. I went through the whole program. It was at the end last year, and I just I had like a couple months left of school, and the head of the nutrition part of the college said, I think you should just sit this one out. Just, don't do finals and just, come back next year, knowing that a bunch of my credits would have expired and I would have to take stuff over, and it wouldn't be like one more year.
Right.
And I sat there in a wheelchair and I told that lady, no, thank you. I'll keep going. Like, sick doesn't mean dead.
Right.
Sick doesn't mean you have no aspirations. Sick does not mean that you have given up. Just because your body is giving you a problem, it's just another obstacle to overcome. If you wake up in the morning, your car won't start, your spouse wants a divorce, you spill orange juice on your pants, I don't know, all the things happen, you still go to work. Still, if you are a driven, determined person, you still accomplish the things that you are meant to accomplish if you want to. So some people are sick and don't want to accomplish things. Some people are sick, like Chris, and he will be the head of this and the law degree in that, and go volunteer here and speak there. And it's person to person how they want to deal with it. And if you feel like someone is trying to discourage you from accomplishing your dreams, your career, your anything, don't let them be the deciding factor. You get to decide. This is your life. This is your form of whatever chronic illness you have. I'm very sorry if that ever happened to you, because it has happened to both of us. It has happened to Connie in the comments. Listen, you are not defined by anyone else besides yourself. And for me personally, God. Okay? I can flip open a Bible and see exactly what he says I am. And it doesn't say anywhere that I'm sick and dying and helpless. Okay?
Yeah.
So thank you for that. I had to do a little tirade there, because that really made me mad. How dare they? So what did you say when they tried to demote you? What did you do?
Oh, I said no. I definitely said no. I said, I've been, I've lived with this condition for a long time. The person who said it, in fact, apologized to me because they not only said it in front of one of my subordinates, they said it in front of one of my bosses as well. So I even had, even more credence to file suit against the organization because they talked to my subordinate about the situation. Yeah.
Did you filed a suit?
I didn't file suit.
Okay.
I decided not to. I believe in God, and certainly there's something to be said about suing people, suing entities, particularly a nonprofit organization, that really made me kind of decide, you know what, this is not the right time, not the right place.
Mhm.
But even so, I felt as though they were, um, I felt as the person who did it was actually out to get me in some
Mm,
way. I felt as though she did not understand me and felt as though, it was, she really wanted me to go. So
right.
I ended up leaving the organization, feeling better about it as well.
Yeah. Oh, so I'm gonna read some comments before we end here because we have a lot, and I just, whew, like I'm telling, like I'm physically hot out of being angry that someone tried to demote you because they felt a certain way. However, I know that thinking that they were doing their best and they really thought they were helping is the only way that I have any solace in the fact that that happened, because
Hmm.
nobody in their right mind could really be like, you know what, you're sick, go sit down. I've seen it happen. I've seen
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And you've gotten this far doing all that you do with this illness. So I know that you're going to go so much further. Like,
Oh, thank
I
you.
know, yes, you're welcome. I know that it's going to be things leading to things leading to things that are going to take you to, because people need to hear you. Like, they need to hear your story, and they need to hear the way that you function in a business world, in a corporate world, just like my friend Connie, who just said, yay for you for being a bigger person and turning the other cheek. You had reason to sue and you were graceful not to. Connie's the one who sent me the really cool sign.
Oh,
She also has MS. So,
okay.
um, and Sonia said, you sure did broke HIPAA laws. Yeah, you did have to. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Jonathan says, love the empowering truth being shared, real action in real action. Preach it. Truth, truth, it does. Yes, they think it's too much for the individual and they view you as a risk slash liability. Yes,
Yes.
that's a good point.
Yes.
That is true. They're covering their butts. That's true. But
Yep.
uh we also need to pay bills and
Oh, yeah.
have a life. So we're gonna
Oh,
work
yeah.
somewhere.
Yep.
Uh, so many, so many have faced this, myself included. Yep. Thanks for sharing Chris Reed's inspirational story. There's hope for a better future. There absolutely is hope for a better future. Every day is a new day to get to your better future.
Oh, yeah.
You truly are God sent. Humble beginning, legacy built. Hey, wow, appointed, incredible. God truly works in mysterious ways. Welcome. So glad you're here. Great afternoon. Now let me see. Beautiful wisdom here. Thank you for sharing this today. Let me go to Instagram and make sure I can get any comments we have there. Nettie says, "I thought that was against the law. Isn't that discrimination to let someone go because of a chronic illness? You are a good man. I would have sued. Lord forgive me." Uh, yeah, definitely against the law. People do things against the law in workspaces all of the time. It's not okay, but also if you can, that person can learn from that. If
Mhm.
you can really let them understand instead of, because sometimes if you're punished for something and don't really get why, or like
Right.
you're just mad and it doesn't help anybody.
Right.
So yeah, I really think you did the right thing. I really hope and pray that there would be some kind of a chronic illness education in the workplace in general, so they know, like, people do have their limits like anybody, because you could be an able-bodied person every day until the day that you get a chronic illness. Like, the day that you're diagnosed is the day that you become one of us, and then you're relearning how to interact with the workplace all
Oh,
over again.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So would you give any advice to anybody who's going through anything similar like that, or similar to that?
Um, Certainly. I think that people who live with a chronic illness um, should take some solace in the fact that the fact that employers will not always take things into consideration. So, for example, individuals who like work at a deli counter should take at least a little bit of solace in the fact that that employing someone in that realm may be a little bit difficult, or someone working in a warehouse. Now, I think, if you're working in some of those conditions, it's important for people who live with lupus to sometimes be a little bit more malleable in the workplace, to understand, these are my limitations. I think sometimes people who live with lupus should really take into consideration, how what they do can impact their own lives as well. It's not easy.
Right.
It's certainly not easy. But we live in a society where money talks. And so it's very, very important that we make sure that we are living our best life.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much for that. So I'm going to wrap this up.
Okay.
And is there anything that you want to promote for Lupus Foundation or yourself before we go?
Oh, certainly. So Casino Night in August of 2025. We have the Georgia Lupus Empowerment Summit in October of 2025. We have in-district meetings that are taking place in August of this year. And, we have tons of events at the organization. We'd love for you to come and hang out with us. My email address is creed@lfaga.org. And our telephone number is 770-333-5930.
Awesome. I will have all of his information in the description boxes that allow me. If you can't find anything, go ahead and inbox me and we will get you sorted. I will probably be at most of those events. Like, I never knew about the casino night until right now. So
Perfect.
I'm going to see if I can get myself there. And hopefully if you are there, we can meet and it'll be a lovely time. He's at every event ever, so he'll definitely be there. But y'all have a great day. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the kind comments and the questions and that kind of thing. Have a beautiful week, day, month, year. Stay happily healed. Bye.
Thank you, Tenille.